Hello, friends. This is John Clement III with episode 115 of Shadow and Flame of Magic, the podcast. And today we finally review X-Men Volume 6 that started in 2021, issue 32, the comic that gives us the shadow, the flame, and the magic. So let's get to it. And so this is written by Jerry Duggan, artist is Phil Noto, letter VC's Clayton Cowles, design Tom Muir and Jay Bullen, and cover artist is Joshua Cassera and Marte Garcia. And I'm going to put four images on the podcast's Instagram and Twitter accounts, which you can find at SNFWM and spelled out. But it's my favorite collection of characters ever on a character list. It's number one, Lockheed. Number two, Emma Frost. Three, Shadow Kate. Four, Magik. And and I know a couple like an hour ago, all of a sudden I was like, you know what? I should write a blog entry for how much I love this and just hit all the websites, socials. It does bug me a little. I wish they had put Emma first or last, but breaking them up. I think it's by No, no, it's definitely not by character appearance, nor importance. So I don't know. But this is the issue that made me realize that because my top five X-Men list was always Kate Pryde with Lockheed, Ileana Rasputin, uh, Rachel, Nightcrawler, and Storm. But I'm like, you know what? I think I love Emma Frost enough where I think I'm gonna go Kate Pryde with Lockheed, Ileana Rasputina, Emma Frost, Nightcrawler, and Storm, and then knock Rachel down to like six or seven, because I think I gotta have Cyclops at number six. Anyways, and then from there, I don't know. It's Scott, Rachel, um, see, I'm not satisfied with my seven, eight, nine. Like I want to say Forget Me Not for the because I do enjoy that character, and then I mean I usually say Rogue and I mean oh and then like Logan I guess. So here we go. Mother of Dragons. In the aftermath of Orcus's brutal attack at the Hellfire Gala, mass mutant exile, and subsequent ruthless anti-mutant campaign, the X-Men have been spread thin trying to protect every mutant they can. A task much easier said than done, but thanks to Emma Frost's telepathic abilities, the X-Men have been able to coordinate their resistance, organizing rescue efforts, and even launching their own attacks against Orcus. And I should say, this is definitely the number one comic of the year, and I don't know what's going to beat it. Like, unless Kate Pride, well, we know for sure coming out of the Krakoan age, we are era. Like, Kate Pride's getting her own team, and unless Magic and Lockheed is in that every month, which I can only hope is the plan. Like, like this is just gonna be number one for a long time until it has competition with other titles that have, Shadow, Flame, and Magic. A task much easier said than done, but thanks to Emma Frost's telepathic abilities, the X-Men have been able to coordinate their resistance, organizing rescue efforts, and even launching their own attacks against Orcus. As the X-Men continue to run themselves ragged in the face of their potential obliteration, the return of one mutant in particular has the potential to help turn the tides. Magik. If only she wasn't suffering from the Orcus manufactured nanites that were blocking her powers, which are not mentioned, which apparently happened in X-Men 25, the issue that tied into the third Hellfire Gala. But the entire run of the miniseries of Realm of X, where she doesn't have access to her powers, is like they say constantly it's due to the Asgardian nature keeping her from using her magic. But it's like, no editor could have told that creative team, like, hey, by the way, what's really stopping her is the nanites. Or you can at least say the nanites are hurting her, but also the Asgardian nature. And then maybe someone would have read X-Men 25. Anyway, so it just seems like, what? Like when was that the situation? But even powerless, Magic is one of Krakoan's war captains, and she's not going down without a fight. Makine's Island, the site of the so-called mutant massacre. Of course, the lighthouse keeper knew the truth of things that happened on the island, and he's just enjoying him like a his mug. Which I'm surprised this lighthouse keeper hasn't been named. For whatever reason, I've been calling him Bill online. And an Orcus goon comes in, breaking, like taunting him, like, "Why are you still here?" And he points a gun at lighthouse keeper Bill, and then oh, and I should mention my Twitter friend, Grayson Maximoff, who's a giant Emma Frost fan and is a Twitter account worth following. Uh, like I share their enthusiasm for wanting some kissing to happen in this issue, but I'm super happy with the two hugs that we get. But just want to mention that. And then Lighthouse Keeper Bill says, "I ain't the only one to survive, you bastards. Meet my friend. I suspect the lad was used to living in lighthouses." And we see Lockheed's head come out of the shadows. And it's just an awesome stealth Excalibur reference. I'm just like, oh, I love this from the very beginning. And the goon's like, "Tell that thing to stay back." It's like, ha, he's not listening to me once since I found him. I don't see him starting now. And then with a fazoosh, Lockheed's a spitting fire and just straight up murks someone. And like I don't know how I feel about Magic later killing a bunch of people without thinking twice about it, but Lockheed also hasn't murdered a bunch of people. So, but at the same time, Kate murdered a bunch of Orcus goons in issue 26. So once they're all reunited, there's not gonna be any judgments with anyone. They'll just be like, yeah, I murdered people, you murdered people, you murdered people. Like that's what we did, and we're not gonna do it going forward, and we're good. Or they're gonna be like, hey, sometimes you gotta murder a person. Like, they're racist. I don't see a benefit of them. Like, there's no chance they're gonna be not racist, so they're not benefiting anyone. He's like, nice to see you're feeling better. Now, are you going to start to pay rent or are you off to war? And then Emma announces to everyone like what the plan is currently. We see the Stark Sentinels are breaking apart, and then we see that Emma's been getting a limo ride, and some Orcus goons are just going to kill some mutants just on the street, which is ridiculous. One of them was Roxy, though. Like, come on. And Emma puts on her knuckles that Tony gave her in Invincible Iron Man 15. And so with them, she's able to knock out some the goons. She rescues them, and the Orcus goons are taken out. We get the recap page. Oh yeah, this title comic is called "From Emma with Love," which I also love. The Reverend Stryker Education Center for Disadvantaged Youth was a shiny, happy name that Orcus hung on another of its gulags in Jersey, Pennsylvania. And we see Magik is swinging down with her soul sword, and she looks exhausted. And we find out how much pain she's in, so you can just tell she's not sleeping well. She's exhausted and just in a lot of pain. And that does not seem like you want to fight a Magik who is irritated. And I should pause here to say, hey, over on my YouTube channel at Jacko SII, I've been playing Midnight Suns mostly over the weekend, so I'm at 12 different episodes right now. So, and I'm making a big point of hanging out with Ileana and Captain Marvel if I can ever get them to be my two, because it's a game of trios, unfortunately, because I would love to have a four team, you know, best things coming forward. You got the Mad Four, you got the Ninja Turtles, you have the great, I don't know, Ultimate Alliance was a team of four, like, the fours. And Ileana crashes through, she knocks out a dude. like double stomp, and then whacks another one with the soul sword. But I don't get the impression they're dead. But she's here to find a scientist who can take the nanites out of her. Magoon almost gets the drop on her, but she slashes him with the soul sword, and then picks up his gun and starts shooting dudes. I still get the impression they're not dead. They're not Dunskies. And Emma's guiding her through the thing, but is telling her like, "Hey, there's backup coming." And then she finally gets to the scientist she's looking for, who's burning paper. Yes, and you should be too. There are going to be trials, and oops, hi, Miss Mutant. Don't even think about that gun. Well, we're all in the same boat now, aren't we? Things would have turned out differently if humans had been in charge of Orcus. Our AI partners never really trusted us. I cut a lot of weak men to find you, Doc, so don't disappoint. I should say that Midnight Suns model they use for Magic, like, I don't know, she just looks amazing in the game, and the voice actress is great. And I don't know. If you can buy Midnight Suns cheap, which I bought the Ultimate Edition for like $40 instead of $100, so in my mind I was like worth it. I think you would get that. I mean, I don't love the card game element of it. Like, there's so many knockbacks, and then you fight all these people who can't be knocked back, and so it's like, what am I doing? Like, just keep, like, I wish there was a way to just hit people. You know, like come on, like let me just, you know, kick a person. Instead, you get a card that is like high knee attack, and I was like, all right. I cut a lot of weak men to find you, Doc, so don't disappoint. You look like one of mine. I was the project manager for the nanites currently coursing through your blood. To be honest, I'm surprised you're still alive. The nanites prevent me from using my teleportation gift. And now they're replicating so much that they will soon kill you. I want them out. And I want to date Taylor Swift, and I wish I'd picked the right side in this war, but we don't always get what we want. I'll make this quick. And he like pulls out his gun, and then, oh! And then with a chalk, Shadow Cade comes through, takes out the gun. I've been listening in. Oh my god. Kitty, is that really you? And I love how she still calls her Kitty. It was this best friend privilege. Being the Cat Yana, being the Yana in the Cat Yana ship gives her these privileges. And then Kate just knocks him out with a crack. Yes, it's me. And we get our first hug of the comic. Yana, I thought you were dead. Jinx. I was hoping that scientist was going to have the antidote for you, but we'll do it the hard way. Ready to empty the clue out with me? If you want to rest, you can. And we get a great dialogue, caption square, so you can tell like Kate's talking normally in a perfect square or rectangle, and then Ileana's is just jagged and weary. No, no. If I'm going out, I'm going to go out swinging my sword, and then you can just tell Kate's killing people. So I assume now Ileana's is doing it, as there's just blood everywhere. I looked everywhere for survivors, Kitty, but not the Morlock tunnel. Oh, but not the Morlock tunnels. That's right, not there. And the rooms are just covered in blood, and they're just sitting around. How many of us left? Never mind, it doesn't matter. Peter is okay. I'm glad I'm not alone. I'm glad Emma sent you. Colossus is a survivor. He's with Logan, and they're holding hands. And I've had already infiltrated the gulag to free the mutant prisoners when you crashed my party. Well, if Emma didn't send you, then who is she sending? A doctor. And awesome page turn, we have Polaris with her coffee cup. Which I guess some people are now being like, alright, we get it. Polaris loves her coffee. We recognize she's a coffee queen. But, I don't know, I like it. I've only seen it twice, so I'm not over it. Maybe three times. Thrice. And she's like, sup, ladies? and she tells Ileana that it's gonna hurt, but she can pull all the nanites out. Ileana's like, I want them out. So she does a okay on three, one, and then just rips them out. And Ileana, like you can just tell it comes out of her pores, her eyes, and that does not seem like a great place. And then we see that there was a lot of nanites. Ileana passes out, which is understandable. She's had it rough. A Stark Sentinel comes for them. Mutant Detective Polaris deploying internal countermeasures to magnetic manipulation. And so then the three X-women start teaming up to take them out. They're built in a way where Polaris can't just rip them apart, so they gotta just do it in a different creative way. Kate tells Lorna to have it keep looking at her, so she's gonna apply some teleport. Ileana uses some teleportation discs. Uh, Ileana lands on top, cracks open a hole. Oh yeah, and they're talking about what makes them all happy. And Kate's like, "Great therapy session, guys, but I could use a little help over here." As she slashes into the Sentinel. With the hole in its head, Polaris puts some live wires in there, and it starts shutting down. But to be on the safe side, Kate phases through a fire hydrant, and with another limbo disc, water just pours right into the Sentinel head, and with a kaboom, one Sentinel's down. We see all the mutants escaping. Emma pulls up in the limo. Well done, you all. Now, get in. We're killing the fascists. Ileana, darling, it's delight to see you upright. And Catherine, I have a surprise for you, darling. And right behind Emma, we see a purple blur. Roar! Lockheed. And I don't know. I love this image. And it's not on Twitter enough, but whenever it is on Twitter, I'm just like, this is it, y'all. We won. And it's Kate hugging Lockheed in her arms, and then Ilana coming in with a bigger hug, and it is beautiful. I feel Noto did such a great job with this. And I guess he does colors too, huh? And I want this on a T-shirt. I want it on a poster. I just want this to exist around me at all times. Like I don't know if it's tattoo worthy, but I mean, I'll be more than happy to have it be tattoo worthy. Polaris wants to know where Nimrod is. Emma says he's next on her list, but she's making extending her or telepathy to include Cyclops. I may have a line on what he's doing. Cyclops, so good, nice of you to join us, Emma says. It's nice to touch all your minds again. I'm just secured an asset from Orcus, Dr. Alia Gregor, which in my mind I always think she's McGregor. I don't think our problems are over. In fact, they're just beginning. Magik, if you're up to joining me. Of course, I'm a war captain. I was born ready. Next, to deal with Devo, which I only know Devo is the band, so. And Ileana looks like she's taking off by herself, but I would love it if Kate is also on this mission because they're going to Sentinel City, and it seems like you want a person who can phase through things. But we are coming together. And so this was X-Men 32. So this upcoming week, according to this comic, is Dead X-Men 3, which is essentially just an Exiles comic. Fall of the House of X3, which hopefully, I don't know, each issue seems to be better than the previous one, but I don't know, it just feels disconnected. Wolverine 45, and oh yeah, so those are the three comics. So hopefully Fall of House of X gets us more Kate Pride content. But let's go to Marvel.com and make sure we're not missing anything. While I'm letting this load, I mentioned my Twitter account, and I don't think I actually said it, but Twitter is also Jacko SII, and then you can just get all my thoughts there. So yes, Wolverine still dealing with Sabretooth War. Here we go. Spider-Gwen Smash issue 4 comes out, which I've been really enjoying. And Dazzler's been in it. Lila Cheney's been in it. Pixie was in the first issue, or first two issues. Power Pack Into the Storm 3, which had oh yeah, it has Storm on the cover, so that's, and they reference Kitty and Wolverine in issue 2, so that's nice. Fall of the House of X3 has the Orcus Sinister, Dr. Statius, uh, Secret Wars from the 80s, issue 3, which is the first issue. It doesn't have Lockheed, so you can skip it. Dead X-Men 3, uh, which I've been liking. It's been the best part of Rise of Powers of X. Ultimate Black Panther 2, which should have Storm in it. What If Venom 2, that has a Wolverine on it with symbiote infestation. So, ideally, we'll have an issue covering Fall of the House of X3, but maybe Power Pack Into the Storm 3, because Kitty and Wolverine have been part of the last two Power Pack revivals, so that should be nice. And that, everyone, is X-Men Volume 6, Issue 32. Um, Controversially, Issue 35 is going to be considered Uncanny X-Men 700. And people are just like, that math isn't mathing. And I don't know why they don't just abandon X-Men 35 and just call it Uncanny X-Men 700. And then, go into the new, and it bugs me they're using the From the Ashes branding, but the post-Krakoan era, whatever, well, I guess it's going to be From the Ashes, but, you know, maybe we'll get an Uncanny 701, but we'll see when we get there. But it just seems weird. Like they purposely never brought back Uncanny, and now they're doing it for the big 700. Like either use it for the beginning of the new era and start off with like, hey, we're going back to basics, and Uncanny's back. But instead, they're just doing like they want their cake and eat it too, which is usually how I eat my cake, by getting it first. But anyway, so there's that 700 is somewhat coming, but I don't know, it just irritates because it's like, you want to do a montage of like, here's all the covers of the 100 issues, and it's like, here's this uncanny, not uncanny situation, but I'm being an old dad about it. So everyone, thank you for listening. Got some plans coming up, and uh, if you ask a friend to listen, we're trying to get our numbers up and get people, hopefully more people to enjoy the podcast. As I really enjoy making it, and I hope you enjoy listening to it, and I will talk at you next time. All right, everyone, thanks. Bye.